Hey everyone, Todd Morgano from Zero.G.Strategy. And today I want to share a few thoughts on what I think is a pretty significant shift that's occurring in communications. Getting people's attention and gaining people's trust has always been what we do. But with the advent of AI upon us, the balance, I think, is tipping way in favor of trust. For as long as businesses have been trying to promote themselves, they've competed fiercely to attract people's attention. And it was often an asymmetrical fight, right? The companies with the largest budgets could afford to produce and propagate more content than their rivals, and this gave them a huge advantage. But then AI entered the picture, and it flipped that dynamic almost overnight. And today, content is abundant, it's cheap and disposable, and that means attention is no longer the rarest commodity. Trust is. Right now, anyone can generate highly polished corporate messaging in short order and without much cost. And in a way, it's kind of good. It levels the playing field, but also it introduces a new problem. If everyone can produce basically the same kind of content, will anything stand out? Or will it all blend into a morass of indistinguishable, perfectly bland slop? Now, many marketing and communications teams under pressure right now to show ROI are using AI to flood channels with generic pattern match content simply because volume is easy to produce and measure. But if everyone plays that game, it's going to be harder than ever to win and differentiate yourself from every other brand out there. And also, a lot of people are pushing back on AI-generated content and AI overall. This year, for instance, graduates at colleges all across the country booed the people they brought in to give their commencement addresses when they began to talk about the impact that AI is going to have on their careers and lives. I'm convinced we've moved past the era of attention scarcity and we've entered the era of trust scarcity. When everything looks and feels the same, when misinformation runs rampant, when we're increasingly bombarded by information everywhere we look and we don't know what's true, people are going to place even more value on doing business with companies they trust, that are human, that they form a personal connection to, and that deliver authentic and unexpected experiences. You think about any great brand, past or present. Were they built on the next logical thing? Of course not. They were usually built on some newer novel idea that may have even seemed crazy or unworkable at the time, or on the personality of the founder of the company, or what the company stood for that resonated with people who felt like the company got them and contributed something to their lives. And if you hope to do any of that, you need a foundation of trust today. Trust your company is what it says it is and will do what it says it'll do. Trust that there's a human heart beating somewhere behind that story you tell. In a world saturated with synthetic prose, the honest and sometimes even vulnerable human voice is your greatest asset. When you share a real story, let's say a founder's struggle or an employee's experience or some contrarian view you have that challenges the industry consensus, people then start to lean in. And they do that because they can sense a real person on the other side who understands them and shares their values and is providing something interesting to them. I'm not saying not to use AI. In fact, I use it every day. What I'm saying is use it strategically as a virtual partner who can improve your thinking and make you more efficient, but who's never in the driver's seat when it comes to defining who you are, telling your story, and building trust based on human-to-human connections. That's what I do with my clients. And if you're looking for help, reach out. And as always, thanks so much for spending a few moments with me, and until next time.